Hi, everyone, and welcome to another powerful episode of The Dungeon Crashers. I'm Guy.
And I'm Zapeel. Before we get started, remember to like and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of our exciting D&D content. Since we are wrapping up our Spelljammer series, let us know in the comments what you think of Spelljammer and our ideas of building an adventuring party one character at a time. We have really been enjoying it and are going to try it out with our next campaign setting. Last week we said we are going to round out our crew with the hardy first mate who keeps the crew in line, leads them in battle, and makes sure everything is ship-shape. We are continuing using the Spelljammer races, this time using a GIF. GIF are a race of militant hippo folk who live militaristic lives and are focused on duty, honor, and often serve as some of the best mercenaries in space. They are also particularly fond of guns. GIFs are humanoid. They are medium-sized, have a move of 30 feet, and also have a swim speed of 30 feet, which is not only useful in its own right, but creatures with swim speed don't suffer disadvantage when fighting in space. You also have a hippo build, which gives you advantage on strength saving throws and checks, and lets you carry weight as if you were one size larger. As mentioned before, GIF love guns and train them from childhood. This gives them firearm mastery, which means they are proficient with all firearms and can ignore the loading property of any firearm and do not have disadvantage firing them at long range. Also, GIF have a psychic connection to the astral plane, which allows them to call upon a spark of divine power that they can channel through their weapons, a number of times a day equal to their proficiency bonus. When a GIF hits a creature with a weapon attack, they can deal extra force damage equal to their proficiency bonus. They can only use this ability once per turn.
For a backstory, we're going to be from an isolated clan of GIF who long ago suffered a dishonor, and out of shame and pressure from other GIF, they fled to an isolated region of wild space and found an asteroid capable of meeting their needs, including having materials to produce smoke powder. There they lived apart from civilized lands for generations, fighting Neogi slavers and other dangers, but largely staying out of sight. However, the elders have begun to believe that perhaps they have atoned long enough and have sent you to see how things stand and to try to redeem your clan's honor through great deeds. You found that while your clan's shame is largely forgotten, other GIF are still skeptical, and while they don't hold animosity towards you, they also don't welcome you into their companies, so you were forced to seek employment elsewhere. After looking for some time, you found a captain who seemed honorable and was looking for a warrior to lead her ship's crew, and you felt this was the opportunity you'd been seeking. The background we are taking is another new Spelljammer races, and it is the Wild Spacer, which is for those that live on asteroids and moons. We are well adjusted and adapted to life in wild space. You gain proficiency in athletics and survival skills, and with space vessels and navigation tools. You also gain the tough feat as a bonus, and don't take disadvantage fighting in wild space. You also begin play with a rope, a grappling hook, and other useful items. You also had a close encounter with a creature that nearly cost you your life, but you survived with a few scars and a few nightmares. There's a table of this, but we're going to choose the Neogi as our backstory has them as our people's main enemy.
Yeah. GIF, like all other Spelljammer races, have the flexible ability scores that Wizard is using with most of the new races. These are 3+1 bonuses that we can put wherever we want, but no more than 2 on a single ability. We want 15 on Strength, making it 16 with our first bonus, 13 on Dexterity, making it 14 with our second bonus, 15 on Constitution, making it 16 with our last bonus. We are born warrior, strong, tough, and coordinated. We then put an 8 on Intelligence. Thinking it's the captain's job. We aren't stupid, just below average, but we prefer following orders than making the big plans ourselves. We put a 10 on Wisdom and Charisma. While not exceptional with either, we are perceptive and intimidating. For our first level, we'll be taking Barbarian. It may seem strange that a civilized and militaristic people like the GIF would be barbarians, but not all barbarians are savages. Firstly, our people lived a frontier life of sorts, so even though keeping up civilized traditions, they lived a more primitive lifestyle. And the class can be used for civilized races as well. The Dwarven Battle Rager is a good example. Like the GIF, dwarves are civilized and honorable, but have an order of warriors that rage in battle. Also, historically, the Berserker is drawn from Norse mythos, and the Norse people, such as the Danes, they were civilized, possibly more so than the people who called them the barbarians. From Barbarian, we gain Rage. We can enter a Rage as a bonus action, and it gives us several benefits. First, you get advantage on strength saves and checks, but we already have that from the GIF. When making an attack using strength, you can add a bonus of 2 to the damage of that attack. This bonus increases as you level up. You also have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. You can rage 2 times per long rest and gain more uses as you level up. You also gain unarmored defense, allowing your armor class to be 10 plus your dexterity and constitution modifiers when not wearing armor. Barbarians are proficient with light and medium armor, so at low level, we would be better off wearing armor than unarmored defense. But we are going to be using the unarmored defense so that we can look dashing in our uniform. Barbarians are also proficient with all weapons and strength and constitution saves. They also get 2 skills from the Barbarian list, and we want Perception and Intimidation. Perception is essential to a sailor, and Intimidation will help you keep the crew in line, and they need to know who is the strongest one on board, and when you say jump, they don't even wait to ask how high. For starting equipment, we want a lot of weapons. How many weapons will depend on your DM. Starting, we want a great sword and a musket. We also want a few daggers and hand axes. Reloading doesn't require an action for us, but still requires a free hand, so it's difficult to do so while holding a melee weapon, so having thrown weapons is useful. Thrown weapons also benefit from our rage bonus. When possible, we want a pistol and a rapier for when two-handed weapons are less useful. Other weapons that would be good are a whip, both as a symbol of our authority, and a one-handed reach weapon, and a bandolier of darts. We just want to be a walking arsenal. We don't need armor, but we could use scale mail if we wanted to. We are proficient with shields, but we don't want one of those either.
And at second level, we need to improve our skills a little. So we take first level fighter, gaining a fighting style, and we want the archery style to make us more accurate with our guns. We also get second wind, allowing us to heal 1d10 hit points once per rest, making us even more durable than we already are. And at third level, we return to Barbarian, taking level 2. We get danger sense, allowing us advantage on dexterity saves versus effects we can see, such as traps and spells, as long as we aren't blinded, deafened, or incapacitated. We also get reckless attack, giving us advantage on strength-based melee attacks until the start of our next turn, but attacks against us also have advantage for the same period. This is a high-risk, high-reward maneuver, but we are insanely tough and can afford to take the hits. At fourth level, we take third level Barbarian, gaining our primal path, and we want Path of the Zealot. We are absolutely devoted to both our own honor and the honor of our clan. We will fight to the death and even beyond death to uphold our duty and advance our cause. The Gif aren't known for religious devotion, but clearly the gods of war smile upon our dedication regardless. We gain the ability Divine Fury. Once on each of our turns, a creature we hit with a weapon attack while raging takes extra damage equal to a d6 plus half our Barbarian level. This damage is either radiant or necrotic, depending on which you choose when you gain this feature. We also get Warrior of the Gods, which means spells that would restore us to life do not require material components. So an ally with Revivify can just keep bringing us back to fight again and again. We also gain a third use of Rage. At 5th level, we take 4th level Barbarian, getting an ability booster feat. And any of our physical ability scores will be good for us, but we're going to take Strength, making it 18. Melee is our strongest mode of combat, and Strength is the ability we use for it. At 6th level, we take 5th level Barbarian. We get fast movement, increasing our walking speed and our swim speed by 10 feet. We also gain extra attack, allowing us to attack twice instead of once when taking the attack action.
At 7th level, we're going to be taking 2nd level of Fighter, gaining Action Surge. Once per rest, we can take an extra action on our turn. This would allow us to make 4 attacks by taking the attack action twice. We could also use the dash, dodge, and disengage action combined with an attack action. At 8th level, we'll work to master our combat techniques. While our rage will carry us through the battle, we need skill to ensure victory, so we are taking Battle Master. As a Battle Master, you do more than simply fight. You use ancient techniques passed down from your ancestors. You gain 3 maneuvers from the Battle Master's list, and you have a superiority die, which are d8s that you can spend to use these maneuvers. You have 4 superiority dice, and you regain spent ones when you take a short or long rest, and you gain more dice at higher levels. The save DC for the maneuvers are going to be 8 plus your proficiency bonus and either strength or your dexterity modifier. The first maneuver we want is Trip Attack. A creature we hit takes our superiority die and extra damage and must make a strength save or be knocked prone. We also want Menacing Attack. We add the dice to our damage roll, and the target makes a wisdom save or is frightened of us until the start of our next turn. Lastly, we want Brace. When a creature you can see moves within your reach, you can use your reaction to make a melee attack against that creature, and if the attack hits, you add your superiority dice to that damage. At 9th level, we take 4th level of Fighter, getting an ability boost, and we're going to use it to make our Constitution 18, increasing our hit points and our armor class with unarmored defense. At 10th level, we take 5th level of Fighter. We would get an extra attack, but we already have it from Barbarian. At 11th level, we take 6th level of Fighter, and we get another ability boost, and we'll use it to make our Dexterity 16, improving our armor class and our accuracy with our firearms. At 12th level, we'll take 7th level of fighter. We gain another superiority die and learn 2 more maneuvers. The first one we want is quick toss. On our turn, we can use our bonus action to spin a superiority die and make a range attack with a weapon that has the thrown property. You draw the weapon as part of the attack and add the superiority die to the damage if the attack hits. We also want parry, allowing us to use a reaction when damaged by a melee attack. We can spend a superiority die and reduce the damage from the attack by the amount on the die plus our dexterity modifier. At 13th level, we take our 8th and last level of fighter for another ability boost, and we're going to use it to cap our strength at 20.
And at 14th level, we return to Barbarian for the rest of the build. Taking 6th level, we gain another use of Rage, and from Path of the Zealot, we gain Fanatical Focus. Once during a Rage, when you fail a saving throw, you can re-roll the save and must use the new roll. And at 15th level, we take 7th level Barbarian. We gain Feral Instinct. You have advantage on initiative checks, and if surprised but not incapacitated, you can act normally on your turn, but only if you enter a rage before doing anything else. There is also an optional feature called Instinctive Pounce. If you use it in your campaign, it lets you move half your speed as part of the bonus action you use to start your rage. And at 16th level, we gain 8th level Barbarian, gaining another ability score improvement, and we're going to make our Dexterity 18 for better armor class and accuracy with our guns. And at 17th level, we take 9th level Barbarian. Our rage damage bonus increases to +3, and we get Brutal Critical, which lets us add an additional dice of damage when making a critical hit. And at 18th level, we take 10th level Barbarian, and from Path of the Zealot, we gain Zealous Presence. Once per long rest, we can use a bonus action to unleash a battle cry, infusing up to 10 creatures within 80 feet with divine energy, giving them advantage on attack rolls and saving throws until the start of our next turn. This is a great way to inspire our crew. And at 19th level, you take 11th level Barbarian, gaining Relentless Rage. When you're reduced to 0 hit points and not killed outright, you can make a DC 10 Constitution save to drop to 1 hit point instead. And you can do this as many times as you want, but every time you do, the DC increases by 5, making it increasingly harder to succeed. The DC resets to 10 when you finish a short or long rest. And at 20th level, we finish with 12th level Barbarian. We get another use of Rage, and we get a final ability score increase that we're going to use to cap our Constitution at 20.
Yeah. This character is, in my opinion, one of the best straight fighting class characters. It has 19 armor class unarmored. Without magic, a capped constitution, and the tough feat, we have over 275 hit points on average. Rage maneuvers and the Divine Fury, Astral Spark, and a capped strength give you massive melee damage, particularly with the Greatsword. We are nearly as good at range with the archery style and 18 dexterity. We are very accurate. Divine Fury and Astral Spark work with any weapon attack, so they add to your damage with your guns. Athletics and advantage on strength checks make you a force when grappling or shoving. You are also very mobile with fast movement and a swim speed, and advantage on jump checks with that cap strength.
And we haven't added magic items to a build in a while, largely due to video length, but we really enjoy doing that, and this character could benefit from some. We use a standard of 1 very rare or legendary, 2 rare, and 3 uncommon items for a level 20 character. Obviously, what items you actually get depend on your DM and the campaign. These are just things that we think either really suit the theme of the character or complement its abilities. At Legendary, from Fitzfin's Treasury of Dragons, is an item called Topaz Annihilator, which is a musket that fires energy provided by a Topaz Dragon Scale instead of ammunition. It has a short range of 100 feet and a long range of 300 feet. It deals 2d6 necrotic damage, and a target reduced to 0 hit points is turned to dust, can only be restored by a wish or true resurrection. Kind of like the Hydra guns in Captain America. Also, once per long rest, the wielder can cast Disintegrate with a save DC of 18. This uses our first attunement. At Rare, we want Bracer Defense, adding 2 to our armor class when not wearing armor. This uses our second attunement. We also want a Heward's Handy Haversack for carrying around kegs of powder for our pistol and bullets, as well as rope, supplies, flask of oil, and anything else that might come in handy. At Uncommon, we need a melee weapon, and our go-to is a Greatsword, so we'll get a +1 version. And as we lack dark vision, Goggles of Night will solve the problem, and also look very cool with our uniform and guns. Lastly, we will take a Cloak of Protection for better armor class and saves.
This guy almost has kind of like a steampunk vibe.
I really see it.
We really like this character and hope you do as well. Please tell us what you think in the comments section below, along with any suggestions and build ideas. We also wanted to give a big shout out to our friend Andrea, who featured us in one of her recent TikTok videos. If you want to check it out, it's at her TikTok at Andrea52884. Next week we are going to start a new party, this time based around the Strixhaven's campaign setting. Our group played a campaign in this setting and it is very fun. Also, unlike most D&D settings, this is far more concerned with roleplay than just combat. So please join us, and until next time, cheers.